Hello and welcome to Blood on the Severn, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set on Bristol, England in the year 2017. With me tonight,
Bex playing Nanjazal of the Ministry.
Peter playing Janusz Kroll of Clan Chimitzer.
Rob playing Dermot Bryan of Clan Malkavian.
And Alice playing Matilda Wells of Clan Ventru.
so thank you very much for joining us. And as you can see, there is no Hubert recap this weekend. It's that we're getting into the weeds of trying to sort out life, and it's mostly not. I'm not gonna say anyone's fault. It was a decision that was taken on my part to drop. No, it was not one's fault. I just decided not to do it because it was gonna be like a long time for me to do that, and I haven't had the time. But the important bits that you need to be aware of from last session was that after a conversation between the Coterie and Carl was let know that Annie was not truly whom the Coterie think she was. And there was a conversation between Matilda and Carl with regards of Christine, and also how he's been faring, how he's been doing away from Bristol in France. Now, the important bits from last session are mainly a conversation between Nanjasel and Janusz, in which Janusz mentioned to Nanjasel that there is someone who has been receiving a message from the gods, which had sort of a mixed reaction from Nanjasel, which turned into a very clear reaction of her not being happy about not being the only chosen of Kupala. Now, while this was happening, Dermot and Matilda went to see Obasi to see if there was a possibility of using the information they had on Caleb to leverage the life boon Obasi holds over Matilda. Sadly, Obasi was aware of poaching in Camarilla territory perpetrated by an anarch of a multi-faction coterie by the name of Matilda, which immediately made negotiations complicated. He did acknowledge that the reputational damage of having it known that his child was the person aiding Annie can be a problem that he doesn't want to deal with. So in a sort of vampiric I won't tell if you won't tell, he asked the coterie to keep this information to themselves, as in to help avoid any reputational damage to him and the Ventru of the Camarilla. And he will not do anything about the poaching of the Logley's coterie in Camarilla domains. And on top of that, he offered a minor service, just as icing on the cake. But there is something that he did not ask any payment or repayment for, is the full support of the Ventru clan of the Camarilla to Dermot specifically, and should he need anything in dealing with Annie, he could contact him himself. Obasi is very willing to deal with this matter personally. He was also known, or the coterie was also told, that by some sick twist of fortune, Caleb is not of true Ventru blood. He might have been embraced by Obasi, but the curse didn't carry appropriately. The gifts were not passed properly. Caleb is a caitiff, and as such, it is a little surprise to Obasi that he had betrayed the Camarilla, for he now believes that his caitiff blood made him unreliable to begin with. Whatever the Coterie want to do with this information is up to them. We had at the end of the session a conversation between Diarmuid and Nangisel, where they talked about a lot of things, especially around how they have been feeling with this situation. And potentially, Diarmuid inadvertently had stayed Nangisel's hand into going in a murderous rampage tonight, or at least immediately. At least she's going to stop to think about it. So she might still go on it, but she's, for the time being, things are safe. Our session ended with someone reaching through the cobweb to Diarmuid. "Seek me out," the voice said. The images of this little child dressed in impossibly old clothes, running around in the woods, running away from the thorns of a rose. Seek me out. The clouded sky lets the sun pass for a second, and you can see the twisted branches of the trees black against the gray sky, drawing black veins in this unfeeling world. Seek me out. So we're gonna jump straight into that scene. Diarmuid is in the HQ. Nangisel is in his presence, and Nangisel just spaced out for a moment, in a manner slightly similar to how Carl would face out for a second whenever he was receiving a vision, or when Janusz is hearing the gods.
I know all about hearing the gods. Okay. If he's just kind of spaced out or it isn't quite there, I'll say, Diarmuid, you alright?
You'll kind of come to a bit. Hi, it's fine.
Are you sure? You look like you was lost there for a minute.
My clan need me.
Is everything alright? What do you mean they need you?
I need them. I don't know.
Do you see someone?
Yeah. Carlos, I'm trying to rack my brains. I mean, does the sense of this person feel familiar at all, or is it new? I mean, I presume
you can recognize.
He's felt a lot of people in the Cobweb from the city before, but is this any one of them?
Can you do an intelligence plus resolve roll for me? Because you can definitely feel that this person is Malkavian.
I will be rousing for this.
Okay.
If possible.
So that would be 2 dice bonus to your intelligence plus resolve check. So you have 3 non-hunger dice that are not successes. Your success on your non-hunger dice is a 10, and you have a second success. So far it's 2.
Definitely willpower that.
Okay. Oh, you have all
3.
regained the highest of your compulsional resolve for worth of willpower for this section. Won't you look at that? Re-rolling your 3 dice with willpowers drew up a second 10, turning this into a critical success, although you go hungry because of that. So you have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, critical win. Not only you know this person is Malkavian, you know...
Yeah.
You know...
So we know what happened with the last little Malkavian that was pretending to be a Malkavian, don't we?
Yes. So this person is definitely Malkavian. You can feel that closeness to the cobweb and to your blood that you have and that you feel in others. So with the number of successes, which are far more than needed for just remembering, you would have remembered feeling sort of like a numb, one of the many numb strands of the cobweb. And you still send the messages through them, but you never get anything back. The fact that it's a critical win allows you to slightly connect to that and see that it's numb no longer, but it's not yet active. As if this person, this woman's voice communicating backwards, had sort of like dusted off some of those, all the dust, redundantly speaking, of it. And you can feel in which direction it is coming from.
Okay.
You can feel a second strand really close to this one. And that second strand you know well. It's Hubert's. They're close. Very close.
Nanch, I need to get going. It feels like somebody's in trouble. Might need a bit of a hand, perhaps.
All right, we'll come with you. You know where you're going. Get in the car.
Think so.
I'll go with him.
So, are you driving to Dermot's? He's he works at the church in the hall, in the church in the wall.
Hubert's, yeah.
Yeah, Hubert.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's where we would start, yeah.
Okay, so you drive all the way there. Nangisel immediately knows the place. She's been there. You show up at the door. You knock.
Bang.
Boss. Nothing. A few minutes pass, and then a postcard comes from under the door.
Pick it up.
Good evening, Diarmuid. You do not have an appointment for tonight. I'm afraid that I cannot take walk-ins.
Hubert, this isn't time for appointments. There's somebody, a young girl, I think, one of us, thinks she might be in trouble.
A second postcard comes from below the door. It says, like, call now, and there's a number. Book an appointment, then burn the postcards.
So, okay. I'll pull out. I'll ask Nanj to maybe
I'll give you a
sort
burner
out burning the postcards.
I'll start burning the
And
postcards.
I'll start calling to make an appointment.
Yes, and it's
I
him.
reasonably have a zipper or
Has
something
he
on
got
me.
like one of those amazing number selection things
Yes.
to book an appointment?
Yes, he does. It's the library system. And it's very easy. Actually, there is a slot right now. Well, not right now. In 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Because that is 12 past the hour. Which is the next slot.
Okay.
When's your appointment?
7 minutes.
Got time
We
to
got
listen to
7
Enter
minutes.
Sandman then? I say we got time to listen to Enter Sandman while we stand here and wait, son.
Sure.
You do just that. You wait a couple of minutes. You ring and buzz again. And you're let in immediately.
Do I go in or can I go in? Does Dermot want me to go in?
Well, the...
Because I'm asking him, sorry, I'll ask him because it's clown business. Do you want me to wait outside?
I'll kind of... Is Hubert there or is the door just open?
No, the door opens it because you know it's the same process as ever. You just walk downstairs and go to him.
Hey, look, you best come in. Best not to have you just standing out on the street like draw attention and all. But
what do you think? I look dodgy?
At 3:12 in the morning.
Yeah, you look fucking dodgy.
All right, I suppose I'll come in then, won't I?
You got a problem with coming into a church?
No.
Oh, there you are then.
I ain't
Be
no
fine.
family.
Well, you know, if he doesn't want you around, then I'm sure he'll. I don't know if I booked for 2 people because he may kick you out because I didn't book for 2.
Well, that's your mistake then, isn't it?
Right.
All right. Well, we'll see what he says.
Okay.
We best not be late, or he'll kick you out too.
Okay. So you walk in. Diarmuid receives you, and of course he eyes the both of you very suspiciously, and he just goes, "Oh, a second.
Right, you?
I need to revise some of these to make identity check questions real quick." He does an identity check, the type of you get asked some of the weird ass questions he's asked before. For Diarmuid, it's very straightforward. A couple of answers, very straight on. He remembers everything. Nanjasel just struggles. He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is stupid." And the moment you insult him, he goes like, "Yeah, you're clearly Nanjasel." So, he's like, "Well, I don't have much time. I had to make this for you. You said it was important. Someone of our clan is in danger."
Somebody was calling, and somebody I got the sense might be close to you. And I'll try and describe the impression I had of the person until the point that he seems to give any level of recognition.
Wits plus insight. I will say both of you, though Nanjasel doesn't have any insight.
What a surprise.
Hey.
You don't need
I ain't no moron.
You can make up how you think they
Okay,
feel.
you do
That's how they feel.
you do see something go along, like a shadow crossing his face for a second. He's like, "Oh, I think it might be best if the both of you take this to Prince Nathaniel. He's he's the highest status Malkavian in the whole city, and he can tell you what you're looking for, maybe."
You don't know this girl, then?
I have not had a chance to converse with her ever. No.
Oh,
Right.
that's you, isn't it?
Okay. Well, thank you for pointing us in the right direction here, but we won't keep you. I know you're quite prompt about your times and all.
Yes. Thank you.
See you later,
Appreciate-
you.
Ta.
What?
Like, bye.
Oh, bye. Right. Yeah. Ta-ta.
So you leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
You leave, and Diarmuid leaves with the impression of having leaving behind a very distressed fellow of the blood. Something troubled Hubert.
Presumably, I think Hubert was fine.
Absolutely, he was acting no more stranger than usual.
I'll say he seemed cheerful.
I think he's going to be fine, just fine.
That's good news. Am I going to come with you to see the prince or not?
Well, I'm going to see if I can give him a call rather than us having to traipse all the way across bloody town. That would be that'd be better, I think. But
well, given the new instructions that have been set out, no transit of kindred is allowed between faction domains. So if you're a Camarilla, you can be in Camarilla territory, but you should not be traversing other territories that are not your faction.
I can't be in Camarilla territory.
But only the multi-faction coteries have free transit throughout the city.
Yeah.
Oh, right, so we can wander around, okay.
So we can.
So you can.
Well, I'll wait for Dermot to phone him then. See what.
Yeah, I mean, you can get in the car and start making your way
Yeah.
there and see if you get
Yeah.
it. It takes you a little while to get a hold of the prince. I think someone picks the phone, puts you on hold, and then you hear the word of your primogen saying, "Is Dermot?"
Yeah, it's Dermot. Yeah.
The prince is expecting you. I assume you are on your way now. Am I correct?
Yes, we're on our way. This gets creepier every time this happens, you know.
Well, he used to be the seer of the court.
It makes it no bloody easier. You know.
Everything will be very easy to understand once you get here. If it
You know,
works, if it helps you, Hubert called.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, that's good. That explains things.
Okay, so you two are on your way there. Meanwhile, Janusz receives in his haven an old man, an old acquaintance, a man that once had been deeply troubled by one of your coterie mates.
Ah, yes.
A member of the Library Information Network, the LIN, who had been delivering messages.
Was his name something like Jason?
It was Jared.
Jared, yeah. Knew there was a J.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so well, Janusz will go to see him then if he's come to the house. Or come to the gate, sorry.
He goes to the gate. Actually, Evelina, who is there, when you arrive, Evelina is also bringing him some like bread and something to drink, because remember, he had spent a day with the children, and he had been the one that usually delivers all the messages now to your that are library important. When he sees you with a smile. He greets you. He's very happy. He still looks like a homeless guy with his dog. He's very happy. The dog is being given food as well, and he's being given extra food for his dog.
Jared.
Mr. Kroll, hi. I have an important message for you. And he just hands you over a beautiful letter, old style parchment folded over itself with a seal. You do not recognize the crest. You, however, break it open and read the contents, and it is a summons from the librarian, granting you the audience you have requested through his child.
Awesome. Is it like now?
Following, like, at your earliest convenience from tomorrow night onwards.
Okay, cool. I'll say, excellent. Do you have other messages to deliver, Jared?
No, but this one seemed important, so I wanted to deliver it personally.
Indeed, it is.
Do you have a reply?
Yes, it is my intention to accept this invitation, and that I will come tomorrow evening as soon as I'm able.
I will relay your message then.
And please thank them for the prompt invitation.
I will. Excellent.
If you wish to rest your feet for a while before your return journey, you are welcome to do so.
Well, it's a little late, so I think I need to deliver this as soon as possible. But if you don't mind me dropping by tomorrow at some point, and Evelina says, Evelina says we can give you some lunch tomorrow, and his face lightens up. He's very thankful for this, and you're very seriously, thank you, Mr. Kroll, thank you, and he leaves. And Evelina sees him and then sees you and says, Janusz, what is so important?
There are to be some changes in the city. There are important businesses going on, and the librarian has returned and is claiming a great deal of control. And it is my intention to be clear and understand exactly what that will mean for us.
Oh. Well, I have you. I'm sorry for changing the subject. Have you given it thought to the message? Is it genuine?
Yes, it is genuine.
She smiles so, like, such a wide grin. Like, for years she has been sort of your second in command, the cornerstone in which the children of summer are built during the daylight hours. And a lot of people like her, but also look up to her in things that are for the religion. And Zane is no exception. He has always been very eager to help, and she has always been there to help him. And now you can see that look of awe and admiration that Zane usually had for her knowledge, for her caring, is reversed. Now she has some admirations, and you recognize in those Sobol eyes the same look Alina, her grandmother, had when you woke up.
So this is a great opportunity for us, and it is a time of great risk. But if we are true in our devotion and in our action, then we will be rewarded beyond measure.
Fine. Well, I will make sure all preparations are made. Should I start slowly training Zane into the next level of mysteries?
Yes.
The rituals and the words, and it'll take him some time to learn them.
It might be wise to of course, for you to speak with him, but for him to have some isolation. For he's been shaken up by this experience, and we would not want him to let slip things not meant for everyone's ears.
Oh, he has not said anything. He said the message just to me and to you. He wouldn't.
Good.
There.
Nevertheless, let us look after him and be attentive should he have more messages.
Yes, I will make arrangements for him to come and stay at the house as soon as possible.
Good.
And with that, she runs towards the house. Okay. Matilda gets a call.
Yeah, sure. I'll pick it up.
Audrey.
Okay.
And she sounds very tense. It's like, "Hey, girl, are you busy?
No.
Can you make your way to mine, please, as soon as possible? Frankie's not getting better. I think he's getting worse, actually. Please come."
Yeah. Okay, I'll be there. I'll turn the phone off and I'll
Okay.
get in the car.
I mean, by the time you get there, you're gonna have very few time left of the evening to return. But you have stayed at Audrey's before, and she has a decently prepared haven for that occasion. So you reach her haven in Portishead, and when you come in, when she opens the door, it's like, "Step in and look for yourself." And she looks very distressed. Very.
She just look angry or just upset?
Upset.
Upset.
Upset and a little bit of despair there. Like, I see she's been pacing. She doesn't know quite what to do.
Right. Okay, I'll take a step in and have a look.
Frankie is in the master bedroom, her bedroom, in a massive bed. He's on one side of that bed. and you see that his wounds has been dressed, as if mortals need dressing wounds. And you can realize now that he's slowly smoldering away. It seems that whatever happened a few nights ago is still happening. Very slowly, but it is happening.
Right, I'll go up to the bed and I'll just say, I'll ask, like, how you doing?
He's still in torpor.
Oh shit, he's in torpor. Fuck. All right. I'll look at Audrey and I'll be like, have you called anyone? Have you done?
You're the first one I call. Because yesterday I had my suspicions, but tonight it's been worse. Like I've been putting like wet bandages and cloths, on his wounds, and that's when I started seeing some of the smoke rising. He shouldn't have any body temperature at all, Matilda. I shouldn't need to cool his body down. But I'm making arrangements. I'm buying some kilos of ice, and I'm just gonna put him in a tub and chill him.
Yeah, keep him cold. Whatever you do, just.
Would you help me?
Yeah. Where's the ice? Here.
And she tells you there's some in the fridge, and you would have to get onto the 24-hour Tesco that is not far from there and get some bags of ice. Then fill the tub with like cold water. Well, put him there, fill the tub with cold water, and then just drop all the ice on top of him. She even, when you put him in the tub, and then you put the ice over it, she pours salt all over it, and then fills the water fills the bathtub with water, so the temperature goes even lower. And she has a long, like a big bathtub, like the type that has like the little, like the faucet, the thingy on the middle, so two people can like sit front to front, with their backs to the sides. So squid can be completely submerged in this and drive the temperature right down. It's also one of those brass ones. It's not like one in the wall. It's one of the ones that it sits in the middle, like the metal ones that sit in the middle of a big bathroom, such as the one in Audrey's house. Okay. And she doesn't know what to do. She's like, what if this kills him, Matilda? This seems to be like an otherworldly fire is still burning. He felt like burning, Matilda.
No, I haven't seen anything like it. We're doing the right thing, though. We just need to keep him cold. And,
do you think we just need to wait it out? Just keep him cold and wait it out.
I'm going to ask someone who might be able to help. We're going to meet someone who might know something about this. And I'll see if they...
Who are you going to tell?
We know Annie. She was a Tremere. We're going to talk to another Tremere. See what they know about her. See what they know about... And then I'll just gesture at the bath.
I don't...
You don't? You don't what?
There is history between the Tremere and the Banu Hakim, and it's not the good one.
Yeah, there seems to be history between Tremere and everyone.
Well, no, this is very specific. There is very particular. There are very few clans that have actual rivalries between them. Some of the Bruja will have always a rivalry with the Ventru or something that I don't quite understand. And I didn't know, but I understand that your Coterie mate, Janusz, has also...
Yes.
I heard it from Murray when he hanged out with Janusz. And they seem to also have like cause. The Tremere had done some awful things in the past, so... I'm really scared of the price they might ask of an anarch.
I won't make any stupid deals. I'm gonna ask politely, and I'm gonna see what they say. I mean, we have some questions to ask them, like, you know. It'll be complicated, but I'm not gonna promise anything on my behalf or anything on your behalf.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
If it's just asking the question, then okay.
It's just a question. For now, it's just a question.
And she cracks and hugs you. That's probably what she needed to hear.
I'll hug her back, and I'll just sort of in her ear just be like, "It's fine. We're gonna wake him up. We're gonna wake him up."
In another part of the city, actually, a lot closer to town, Nangisel and Diarmuid arrive at Nathaniel's place. Not his place of business, but the place where he does his personal meetings. You're allowed in immediately into the presence of Nathaniel, who gestures at the chairs in front of him. Thank you for coming immediately. I was made aware that you have seen something, that you have been approached in a way by someone. And then he just slowly closes the door.
Is Nangisel here for this, or is she?
He's letting her in. Not a problem.
Well, yeah, I'm coming as long as nobody is preventing me, or unless Dermot is saying he doesn't want me there.
Yeah.
No.
But I'll greet him as Your Honor or whatever, some kind of lofty title that's not the correct one.
Yeah, Your Honor. Your Honor seems amazingly appropriate to be inappropriate.
Somebody reached out to me. A young girl, I think, close to Hubert.
That explains his swift approach to Derek. What can you tell me about this girl?
Felt like she'd been disconnected for a while, staying away from it all, and now suddenly she's just reconnected, reached out. Like there was some root there, but it's gone now, and feels like, I don't know, something's chasing after her. That's the impression I'm getting, at least.
What did she show you?
Thorns, blackened thorns reaching out to her under the sky, in the woods.
Woods, you say?
The woods. Felt like she was running.
There is one member of our clan that has been out of touch of sorts for quite a while now. Her name is Sophie Woods. And she was a very gifted seer, cursed in the way the true seers are. In life, it was a sad occurrence that the embrace only improved, magnified her abilities. Sorry, yes?
No, you go ahead.
She petitioned for the right of destruction against herself. She wanted to be no more. She petitioned to our Archangel, Raphael, a member of our clan. He was here many centuries ago. Sophie was disturbed by the images of death and the blackened beast crawling over Britain and Europe. The anguish, the agony, the cries of despair, the death, the stench of death, it followed her everywhere. She couldn't stop it. Raphael agreed that destruction was not, in the way she wanted it, as in suicide, was not what the Lord had in store for her. So she agreed to be placed in torpor. Turns out Sophie was completely right. She was foretelling the Black Plague. She heard the final gasp or breath of every person that died. Years before it happened. Her abilities were always useful, but well, after the line of the Archangel had left and Raphael was no longer in the city, it had fallen to my bloodline to take care of her as the eldest amongst our clan. Priscilla, Hubert's child, was the previous custodian of Sophie. But she died, and now Hubert fulfills that role. I might be a prince, but this is a clan matter. So I will make sure to gather all of us. Not only because Sophie's reaching out herself, but also because I need to communicate this to our clan in order for us to decide whether or not is the time, the appropriate one to bring Sophie Woods back.
Sorry, Your Honor. I know I'm not in the clan. I have a question, if I might.
Sustained, he says, sort of like sniggering to himself.
I'll say if it's the case that we're going to wake this girl up and she'd been asleep for a long time and she was around during the Black Plague, and if I've got it right, that means she's old. And I think that probably Teach, but also Roger, might have some thoughts about waking up old vampires. So I'm asking, just saying, does it need a conversation? Even though it's not. I understand what you're saying about it being with clan, but just throwing it out there.
I understand your concern, Nangisel, but she's only old in terms of the time difference between her embrace and today. She was still a neonate when she was tortured, and she's not been active for over 400 years. Or 350 years.
What difference does that make?
She's not of a low enough generation, nor has been active long enough to be considered an elder, not even an ancilla by any of the standards of the Camarilla.
Oh, that's your rules. Right, okay. Well, I understand them.
The person that needs to be notified, however, is the librarian, for he's keeping tallies of the number of kindred in the city.
Right, and I thought, well, balance of power, all that stuff, especially since some of the anarchs were recently up in arms about it.
Right now,
I don't think they have much right to be casting stones at the moment.
I don't either, but I'm just saying, sometimes people have funny opinions on things, don't they?
Then they can take them with the Lord of the Domain, the librarian himself. If he decides that it's a matter that he wishes to discuss with the other factions, so be it, but I don't see a reason to take it outside Clan Malkavian
Right.
or the
I mean,
Camarilla. I
that's,
understand your concern, Nanjasel, and I will make sure that after all of this is done, I will let Teach know that you had the best interests of your faction at heart as well.
well, do you mind if I let him know myself?
Do you
Or are you
mind?
saying you want me to keep this quiet?
I would rather hear from the librarian first. I intend to send a missive tonight, so we should know soon, very soon.
Well, I of course absolutely want to do what you're asking, but as you know, I work for Teach, and it seems like it don't sit so well with me to keep things from him, even if it's only for a night, because he might not believe me. So what I'm wondering is, are you in a position to make it worth my while?
Ooh, that is going to be a. I don't know if this is a manipulation or a charisma plus persuasion.
Hey, he's asking me to go against my chronicle tenets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think actually the point you're arguing is more around Titch and your structure. So this might be social combat.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Well,
Come on.
And I think it's going to be manipulation plus politics.
sure, okay.
Social
Do you
combat with the
think
elder.
this is going to be this can be any other pool?
No, I mean I don't think I want it to be.
Okay. Do you,
I think that suits me all right. I think.
do you rouse the blood
Yeah.
for this?
Why not? Wait, what's my willpower? Is it still 1?
No. Your willpower is full.
Okay.
It's 5.
Then-
It's 5.
Okay, yeah, then I will do that.
And so
Wait,
you
am I hungry?
you are at hunger 2.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Right.
So
Let's
this
go.
is
See if I can
manipulation.
start
Manipulation plus politics
Yeah.
against the prince of the Camarilla of the city.
I realise he will beat me into submission, obviously, but
I'm sure his politics is terrible.
I'm sure
Yeah, I
it's
bet.
terrible.
Wait. You had status. You can blag your status amongst the autarkies on it as additional dice, so that's good. Sadly,
Thanks, Mitch.
I mean, he doesn't have his status.
He's got no status. It's fine.
he can leverage his status with the autarkies, not his Camarilla status, which is not the thing here. Cool. So you have 6 successes. My God. Only 2 of your dice, of your non-hunger dice are non-successes. So you could reroll up to 2 dice.
I should stress that Dermot's not getting involved because obviously he's invited Nanjin here, and he has to respect a person who's willing to play to some extent by, the rules of prestation. That shows a very clear Camarilla streak.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I'm going to spend any willpower. I'll just keep my fingers crossed that he hasn't got 8 million successes.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
You got some balls, Nanj.
Well,
Ooh.
I like to think I'm a bit of a political operator.
Well, he's going to willpower this.
That's either really good or really bad.
I know. It's either awful.
It's like he's already got 10 successes, but he wants
Yeah, he wants-
Wants to put you down.
Quite the floor with me.
Ooh. Okay.
Have to slim.
Because he re-rolled. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, I had a 10, and I re-rolled the same two dice, just like you. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Like my roll was appalling. That's why I used willpower. So both of you will take 1 point of willpower damage. But
Okay.
he will back down.
Oh, okay.
I think now you can see, when he just gestured and
Yeah.
everything, and his actions. Now you can see he's been drained. Like he's probably been like politicking throughout the night with the librarian or with Roger or with
Me.
teachers. And I mean, it makes sense. He's the leader of a faction which also had 3 kindred killed by the anarchs. One of them, his clan. So he's probably been politicking against his own clan and the other clans within his faction. Tonight has been a very trying night for the prince, and it had been evident to Diarmuid. He knew that stuff was not going great tonight because it was very heavy. But now Nanjasol realizes, wow, this has been like a tough night. He acknowledges that just keeping your silence for a night is not gonna. It's more than you're willing to do, but he's willing to offer a minor boon from the prince.
I take
the
it.
camera. Okay.
Take his hand off.
And then I'm as gracious as I know how to be.
And he says that you will have that boon, and he only asks for your discretion until they hear back from the library. Whatever the result is, you're allowed then to disclose the information.
Okay, I will agree to that and say, thank you, your worshipfulness.
And at this point, he starts like rubbing his temples.
Then I'll just fade back into the background. Leave them to chat.
Now, if you would excuse me, I need to send word
Yes.
to the library.
I'm sorry for adding to your plate so quickly, but are you saying that we need to get permission from the library before we do this?
It is well. We would need to inform them. I need to make sure that she's still in the books. For if she is in the books, she's still a citizen of Bristol, and therefore we are allowed to wake her up immediately.
I'm more than happy to do anything that's needed. Looks like there's a lot going on at the moment. I mean,
Could you please
can I do
gather?
anything to help?
Could you please gather our clan
I'll do that. No problem.
tomorrow evening? It needs to be.
Nanj, do you mind just giving us a moment?
No, I'll step out.
Where do you need us to meet? You got a location, or
Well,
you said Hubert was watching it?
yes, but I think everybody except Hubert needs to be there because I'm going to inform everyone about the existence of her, and this is a clan matter. So, regardless of the faction, if Malkavians are there, I want them to know that we always look out for one another.
I'll call.
I do not have a place in mind. If you could take care of that, or if you could host it even, I would be most appreciative.
I'll sort it out. It's no problem.
Thank you very much, Diarmuid.
Do you mind? It's. I'm sorry about what happened with our lost clan member.
Yes, me too. It was very unfortunate. It is as if some kindred in general, regardless of faction, are just not happy with the equilibrium we have managed to attain. Some anarchs feel that it's belittling to them to allow the Camarilla to its continued existence.
If I can find anything out about it, I will do, and I'll come back to you.
Please, I would like to address this matter as soon as possible.
I will do.
I would hate to set Alexander Walker outside. And it's like that's the Tremere regent who also happens to be the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
and he would, and I mean, it's not gonna look great if, like, probably the most powerful Tremere in the only chantry of Bristol starts looking for the responsibles.
Yeah. I will I'll nod and then leave it with me. I'll see what I can find out. Again, you got a lot on your plate, it seems, so whatever I can do to help.
Thank you. Now, good night, Dermot.
Good night. And I'll leave. And if there's time, just as we're sort of out, and no doubt we'll talk about other things, but on the way out, Dermot will sort of, once we're clear, kind of want a quick word with Nanj.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you're in
sure.
the car, so you can
Yeah.
do it on the drive back, yeah?
Just say, I was, you got a bit of political sense to you there, Nanj, you know? Got a good bit out of
I
that.
think so. I'm not a pretty face, am I?
Nice, good move. Good move. I
Listen,
have to respect that.
Listen, your prince.
Hmm.
I imagine he's none too happy about the fact that 3 of yours got done in by the Anarchy.
No.
Well, it happens that I know what one of the guilty parties is.
They're responsible for the death of Oscar.
Well, he's responsible for. Actually, do I know which one of them he's responsible for, Carlos? I can't remember.
You know about
Mitchell. I'm
I
thinking
don't think. Did Mitchell say who? I don't think Mitchell told you who.
Yeah,
He
I
just
don't
said
know.
he'd been
No,
responsible.
fine. In which case,
I
I'll
think
say.
I know, but
yeah.
I'll say I don't know which one of them he killed, but I do know that I've been asked to get him out of the city. It struck me that for the right kind of price, might be able to drop that information about where he's going to exit somewhere to somebody who wanted to do something about it.
Did you talk to him?
Who? The guilty party?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry. Did you talk to them?
No. I was asked. One of their mates came to me and asked me, could I get him out of the city?
Well, seems to me that sometimes
They're in hiding. The lot of them are going to be. So I can tell you where that place is.
clearly realise they've made a bit of a mistake, haven't they?
Yeah, they
There's
have.
some people who actually feel some remorse about it, and there's some people who's just running for fear, even though they think they did the right thing.
Now, how's about this for a deal then? I'll tell you where they're all going to be. If you promise to take the one I was supposed to get out and make sure he's done in for good. That's my price. Don't have to be you that does it. However you like. My price is I want him dead.
Why?
Why? Because you're a twat. It's in my interest. That's all. Now I know you might have qualms about this sort of thing. I understand that. But I reckon I could go back in there and tell Prince Nathaniel, right? Or the rest of your lot. Someone is going to have strong enough views about it to do what I want.
I hear you're good at putting people in boxes, Nanj.
I've been known to do it now and again.
I suppose if they were in a box and not resisting, then it wouldn't be too hard to get them to the right place then, would it?
Maybe not. None of this traced back to me, though. Just an unfortunate accident.
Nanj, I'm not in the habit of just running around and taking a revenge on things. There's a way things are done. But I can assure you that if he ends up in the right place, there's little chance that he'll see more than a sunrise or two more.
All right. Well, that sounds good enough for me. So how about I give you the information and you do the right things with it?
Let me know. But
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Just seems you're playing a few dangerous games here, Nanj. Just I would wear one, just warn you one thing. Couple of things I know, of course, would be terrible if anybody did find about teacher's true situation, on the night of the election.
I understand what you're saying.
Choices he made were a little bit risque, weren't they?
I imagine the teacher knows how to look after himself.
I know, but
I
that doesn't
imagine he's going to
mean...
make a deal.
What I'm saying, Ange, is when I bring you into a room, as a coterie mate to help out with something, with the prince, taking the opportunity, I can respect it, but doesn't really respect me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, with the best will in the world, damn it. You didn't tell me now of what was going on before you put me in that room. So I came to help you without knowing what I was walking into. And it seemed to me that if I don't tell Teach about this, which I won't, because that's what we've agreed,
Well,
if I
maybe...
don't tell him about it, then the fact of the matter is he finds out about it, it's my neck on the line, isn't it?
Well, maybe it's my fault. I'll know not to put you in that position in future then. Anyway, as long as we got clear air between us, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Two things. Obviously, having made this agreement with Dermot, I will give him this information in exchange for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in doing this,
You're
I'm breaking my
stain.
convictions.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're going to gain stain because
It's okay. The advancement of the one true faith.
Your word is your bond, says.
Yeah.
And you're going at it. And you're going at it hardcore. It's not that you're deliberately going against your conviction.
Well, if Mitchell's out of the way, Ruby has a clear path to enlightenment.
Ruby will play.
Yeah.
Do you have any other convictions that save you from breaking this conviction?
I mean, probably not. Wait, let me think what they were. No. I'm willfully choosing to do this because it is in pursuit of the awakening of Kapala. And that is a thing that's important to me, right? Because
Can't argue that.
I'm his chosen person and will be the only chosen person once I'm finished.
Which is amazing because, you will be, by doing this, you will advancing towards your ambition. That is what you're doing, why you're doing it. You have no aggravated willpower damage, which means that the next time you do get it, you enter in the same club as Matilda and Janesh.
Exclusive.
Yes.
Welcome.
In which the next time you get aggravated willpower damage, you can switch it to superficial immediately. But you will gain 3 stains. Because this is a deliberate, premeditated breaking of your own conviction. You thought about it and you were like, oh, I can profit from breaking my word.
Indeed.
And there is so there are yeah.
It doesn't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't. So 3 stains in one go. It doesn't feel you have humanity 6, so you still will roll 1 die. Even if it were like a 4th stain, you would still roll 1 die.
So what you're saying is I can do what I like for the rest of the session. Yes.
Yeah.
You could gain up to 1 more stain. And there would be no consequences. Now, if you gain more, any bleed over will translate into aggravated willpower damage immediately, of which you could transform 1 into superficial. So there's a possibility of you even gaining 2 and having no long-lasting, well, other than the loss of humanity, but long-lasting effects and consequences.
Well, let's hope then that for the rest of the session, Kapala doesn't ask anything else of me.
I'm sorry, Kapala's quite demanding at the moment.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Cole.
Okay, so everybody goes to bed. And I will need rouse checks from you all. Nangisel does not go hungry. Oh, she had rouse for Nathaniel conversation. And she didn't go hungry for that either.
Tell you what, it's like the gods smile down on her.
Yeah.
So Janesh has gone to hunger 2.
And Diarmuid has gone to hunger 4.
Oh no.
I'm glad we had that conversation before. All right.
Okay. So we're gonna start the evening with Janesh. Because first thing in the evening, very early in the evening, the moment the sun goes below the horizon, Evelina shows up.
Okay.
And of course, she says that Jared had come earlier in the day, as agreed during lunch, to say that the earliest convenience was, well, basically you need to get ready and go. But I mean, the only way to tell you is like telling you now.
Thank you, Evelina. I will make my way there. Should my coterie mates be in touch, I do wish to speak with them tonight. As soon as I'm finished with my business, I will be seeking them out.
I can pass on the message to Nigel when she wakes up.
Yes, excellent. Yeah.
So, you make your way to the library. You talk with one of the Nosferatu there. He brings you into the big antechamber. Old and dusty. Well, not dusty. It's just old tomes. This is a very well-preserved place. One of the walls is decorated with different maps of all of the city, all with different boundaries over time, like important boundaries that have been drawn. Cassiel makes himself known. Janesh.
Yes, good evening to you.
My sire will see you now.
Is he in good spirit?
He's not happy.
I'm regretful to hear that. Is there a particular source of his ire I should be aware of?
The Inquisition, so you should be safe. I believe. You fought them, have you not?
Yes, I have.
Well, he will see you now.
Hmm.
Once you go in, there is this impossibly old figure in front of you. Old bandages have been changed for new ones. In the matter that probably in life he suffered leprosy or any other of those conditions. His face, just like the one on Cassiel, is even more caved in, puckered, as if someone had drawn a wedge straight through his skull. It's just, instead of having a nose as a point going outwards, their faces are going inwards. It's hideous to see. Although most of it is still covered in bandages. He's going over the old accord and the new accords in his table. You can see the old leather-bound tomes and scrolls, and the new, freshly printed, sort of executive board-like new accords in front of him. Janesh. Crawl.
Yes.
You wish to speak?
Yes. I wish to welcome you back to Bristol and to say that I am pleased to see that the old accords are remembered and honoured. I imagine that there is a matter you wish to speak to me of, given your new role here in the city, and I imagine a change in the duties of those who serve the library.
Indeed.
And also, I wish to speak to you of a matter of accords myself.
Well, my newfound position allows me to claim forces, an army of my own to fight the Inquisition. But it seems that agreements were made to maintain the boons as they are now, and they will remain so. I still need agents, eyes and ears out there, beyond my brood. So I will have all the multi-faction coteries reported to me, as they belong to the city and I am in charge of it for the time being.
Of course.
There might be others joining us. Others of my clan from other cities.
Yes, I'm given to understand that that was a possibility.
As of now, I would like to have your full account of the attack the Inquisition perpetrated in your house.
Very well.
We don't have to go over the whole thing if you don't want to.
So the key thing is he will not only mention that the Inquisition came and attacked and that we repelled the attack, he will mention that they had not reported in when they came. They came here directly, and so it wasn't known they were doing this. It was kind of a rogue action as we understand it. But he will also say that they were tipped off about the reason they came was they actually came hunting Carl, and we believe that Carl was tipped off by this Tremere masquerading as a Malkavian that was calling herself Annie, etc., etc.
So when you give him the full rundown of everything, of course he asks you, how did you come by this information of them being rogue, sort of like a rogue cell or something like that?
I'll say we captured some of them and interrogated them before dispatching them.
He actually sits there for contemplating to that download of information. He had been taking notes diligently of everything you have said, names, locations, places, times, everything. And then he just sits back and says, well, that initial cell might have been a rogue one, but the disappearance of its members probably stirred things further. The greatest weapon against the Inquisition is misinformation. That and the Masquerade. The silence. Hiding our faces, our actions and activities.
But they have already seen through this disguise. They have assaulted the Anarchs directly, and whilst, of course, we could speak of the foolishness of declaring open elections and organising themselves in such a public manner, the fact remains that they know.
Yes, and this is where the second part of your information becomes quite useful. I want to know more about this Tremere woman who's been using the Inquisition. You will see, Ganesh. And he stands up and starts walking with that very long finger, tracing some of the backs of the old tomes. At the beginning, some of our kind were foolish enough to believe they could control the Inquisition to dispatch their enemies. That's how the First Inquisition started, how their power grew from nothing to having the knowledge and the tools. It was a scourge the greedy amongst us brought upon everyone. Do you know what does this Tremere woman greed for?
I believe she seeks vengeance of a sort. I believe the attacks of the Inquisition were something of a distraction. Jacinta was one of her true targets. And there have been other murders she has perpetrated over the years. So he'll go through like Jonathan Fowler et al. With the Amberites, etc., etc. So, but this particular night, she was able to use this election as a screen, as a way to hide her true intent and take action without being seen, such that we blamed, when so many had been killed, on the Inquisition and not her.
Fine. Does the other factions does the three factions know this? Do the three factions have been informed? Do they know of this woman, of this threat?
Yes.
He starts looking over the recent records. He says, I see no record of her before 2012. Tell me everything you know about her.
Which he will do.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. He writes down everything again, asking questions, and then he puts his quill to one side and says, now let's discuss the reason of your visit.
I'm given to understand with the enactment of the old accords that the rules are now different and that you have powers extending to the city that no other kindred does. Yes. And I wanted to be sure that whilst those accords are being honoured, so too would the old accords around my domain.
So you are saying that there is a conflict since in one, your land is yours.
Yes.
Not beholden to anyone.
Yes. My land was not given to me by the city. It is mine.
Yes, while the accords say that anything within the boundaries of the city is now under my jurisdiction. You are right to bring this to me, for it is indeed a contradiction.
Yes.
How do you propose we proceed with this? Would you allow the exchange of a boon in either way? Would you be happy, for I do not wish to break our previous agreement unless you agreed to allow me to rule over your domain as well in exchange from a boon of mine? Or would you offer me a boon to circumvent the rulings of another agreement? One not done with you but with the city, so it does not affect you. I believe either way, one of us will have to give the other party something.
That land is mine.
Indeed.
I do not oppose the idea that it may be at times you wish there may be need for someone to come onto that land that could be discussed, or indeed things of that matter, but the land is mine. There is no discussion about that fact. If I must owe you a boon for the land to remain mine without conflict, then I will do so. But the land is mine. No one else's. It is not the city's. It is not yours. It is not the Autarchus's. It is not the Anarchs. It's not the Camarillas. It's mine. I'll pay your price.
However,
If that is what it takes for it to remain so.
However, you're in secondment to me and my group.
Yes. I will still serve the library. Of course.
That might help. That might help. Can you please do a charisma
Yeah.
plus persuasion
Yeah.
roll on this? And you can add, do you have politics?
Yes.
Do you have any specialties that can be relevant either in persuasion or politics?
I'm going to say no.
Okay, then you will add just a single die because your knowledge of the courts and the politics around plus the boons you've done with him.
Yeah, I'll rouse for this.
You will rouse. Okay, are you gonna leverage other things, like for example, boons that you might have with other members of the library, or vice versa, or are you just dealing with him one-on-one?
No, I'm just dealing with him one-on-one, lord to lord. You know.
Well, that's a good approach. That's a good approach.
Say again.
It will be charisma plus persuasion, plus then 3 dice, 2 from your rouse, 1 from your politics.
Okay, here we go.
That is 4 successes so far, and you have exactly 3 non-hunger dice.
Well, I'll definitely do a parry roll because he really, really wants this to be the case.
Okay, that is 6 successes total.
All right, I'll just do that rouse check as well.
Yes, please.
Well, of course. So that's me on hunger 3.
Ooh. I can see roll 20 wanting to do something. 1. What the hell is wrong with this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Wow. I propose you this. You will remain the sole ruler of your territory, of your land, which is contained in the multi-faction Coterie domain of Lochlis.
Yeah,
you will be an oasis in my domain. Since you are working with the multi-faction Coterie of Lochlis, you work for me. I will make it so that in exchange for your unconditional service with regards of anything outside your domain and a minor boon, I will not extend any of my powers to your land. This will set a precedent, Janusz. I should be asking for a major boon here. But you gave me enough information, so I feel benevolent.
Then I accept your terms and your benevolence.
We will draft this immediately. And then, just like that, a precedent is set where the land belonging to Janusz Kroll is separate to Bristol. As far as boundaries of domain go, it is his and no one else's.
The little prince.
The tiny prince. He, of course, gets a minor boon from you, and of course, you will now have to be his part of his secret police, basically.
Fine.
Like an advocate, like the most ardent one. Of course, he does not know that you are like hell bent on seeking Annie and destroying her or whatever. He just wants you there committed. Body, mind, eyes.
I'm very committed to dealing with the threat of Annie and also certain other Inquisition people. I mean, it's all good.
Very committed to getting people off your land.
Yeah.
So I think instead of jumping straight out at another scene, because it's only like 3 minutes to 8:30, I think we can call it a slightly earlier break, unless you want to have any short scenes or something in the meantime.
No, sounds good.
I do know we have information that came out yesterday on the blog post, but I think it's worth mentioning, giving a shout out to the patron rewards. So
Peter? Yeah, definitely. So if you are one of the wonderful people who are supporting us on Patreon, and thank you. And of course, there are different levels, vampiric levels you can be supporting on. So if you are supporting us at the level of neonate or higher, then there's recently been posted some of our V5 materials specific for the Blood on the Severn Chronicle. So there's a new lore sheet there which you can use, obviously, and enjoy in your own chronicles. If you are one of our esteemed elders or higher, then there is also a new postcard from Hubert that got posted there a couple of days ago. So if you haven't already, do go and check them out. And of course, thank you ever so much for your support. Much appreciated.
And also a big shout out to Kirsty for doing the amazing art for Hubert's postcard.
Yeah,
and to
definitely.
Sam, who is always providing not only the ideas, but also the messages. He's writing the messages that Hubert sends all of our patrons. And be sure to check out the lore sheet. It is the library lore sheet. The library for which Matilda has one of the powers. Also, one of the abilities of the library has been showcased in game. So try to figure out which one. It's not that difficult. Right now it's almost 8:30. So
sorry, can I squeeze in a shout out?
Go for it.
So just to say that a big shout out to our sword wielding chat moderator Phil, because it is his birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday tomorrow, Phil. And obviously he will still be far too young, in my opinion, even when he does age a day. But happy birthday anyway.
Feliz cumpleaños, although it's tomorrow. So hang on with those congratulations for another 3.5 hours, and then re-listen to them again. So now it's 8:30, so that's neatly wrapped up. We're gonna come back in 15 minutes, so we will see you at 8:45, local UK time, where we'll continue with part 2 of the crazy shenanigans of Blood on the Severn. See you in 15. Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back for part 2 of this season 3, episode 4 of Blood on the Severn. So, one quick question that I want to ask Peter.
Hello.
Did Janesh reveal Caleb's involvement to the librarian? Or
I mean, of course.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he has any reason to not do that. I don't think he has made any agreements, or because all the stuff around Abassi is stuff he's unaware of.
Yes, exactly. So he would have said, he would have mentioned names and everything. Cool.
As a Coterie, did we discuss being able to try and get the boom reduced, or was that just between?
Oh no, we did. No, we did. We did, but
I'm gonna let you think about it, because I think the lot of you discussed.
Oh, we did. No, we did talk about Caleb. being used against the Bassi.
Yeah, and the silence of the coterie being
Oh yeah, no,
being
Yeah.
discussed. So Matilda was going to talk to Obasi, and then she would inform the rest of the
Okay.
coterie. But since this conversation happened before, would Janusz would say, just mention Annie's involvement, or would he actively mention Caleb? So it's up to you. I will let you think about it, because it is very easy to leave him outside of the explanation. The librarian has no reason to disbelieve any of the words you tell him, and a lot of what you're telling him is conjecture, as in, we believe she is the one responsible for the death of Jonathan Fowler because we have evidence, but it's like, this is the conclusion we have arrived. So I'll let you mull over that.
well, I'll say for now he probably hasn't, because he was asking specifically about Annie
Yes.
and the Inquisition.
Okay, fine.
And so I'll wait and see, because Janusz does know that Matilda was going to a
Yes,
Bassi for
he
that
does.
reason.
Okay.
And I think he'll find out from her first, and then
Okay, dodge that bullet, Alice.
That is a question though, because I think I mentioned that to Roger. Did I tell Roger that Caleb was involved?
You might have mentioned. No, you definitely told Teach.
yeah, Teach knows.
Teach knows. But Roger, no, because you were there when he was, woken up and all that.
That's fine. I thought it was someone, so yeah, it's Teach. That makes sense.
So, Diarmuid, the night begins for you, and it's uncomfortable. Your body starts reanimating. It starts coming back to life. And that's when you notice your bed sheets slightly damp from blood. Blood that is very slowly oozing from your wrists and from your forehead. You feel your shirt, it's also damp on your side. These are the wounds that our Savior had to endure when he was taken to the cross. And your belief, your faith has been so strong, especially after the embrace, that it is in these moments that you're reminded of the passion and crucifixion. For you have been blessed and cursed with the stigmas of the Christian faith. And now that your body is really hungry, that you feel the beast craving for blood, the signs are completely visible. You need blood to close these wounds, to hide them from the world.
He will probably take the bed sheets, start ripping them up, and start bandaging the hands around his waist, and as best he can around his head.
Okay.
And then get out of a... probably this hasn't happened in a long while, so you will pull a cupboard open and take a crucifix out of there, over to one side, and kneel down and start praying for a little while.
Okay. After your prayer, your mind is... You try to focus on your prayers, but the beast is gnawing at you. And you can hear sometimes the whispers. It'll make them go away. Just feed. And on the other side, your mind is fervently praying. And in the back of your head, you have the words of Nathaniel. Summon the rest. But you finish your prayers, however. And they don't make you feel better, but at least you're at peace. One part of yourself is now quiet.
Yeah, he'll pray to be given strength to see through and not commit the cardinal sin, killing. If he can maintain that strength, then perhaps he can get through this night at least.
Okay.
See his way to doing right.
Very well. What is Dermot's first order of business?
He has to see to his clan. So he is going to make his way across in the car to the HQ, as discreetly as possible. Getting over and getting into the HQ to start trying to do that. On the way, he's probably going to try and reach out to his manager.
Okay.
To see whether or not he can get some kind of impromptu gig or something else set up. He needs to try and feed, and he needs a group of people to do it from. So he's going to be trying to get something in place, just something pop up, just so that he can get a few people that are viable, and then maybe meet up and do something there a bit later. Or we'll see.
Your manager does tell you that this is a little bit short notice, but they will do what they can.
Yep.
And that they will try and give you a call as soon as they have anything.
Yeah. Maybe a meet and greet with, the DJ, something like that. Whatever it may be, just get a few people in the room kind of thing.
Okay. So, what are you going to do in the meantime while you wait to hear back from them?
He's going to try and reach out to the clan to get them to meet. So firstly, he wants to try and reach out through the Cobweb.
Okay.
And the second thing is to reach out, through communications, so technology, emails, phones, whatever is already set up to try and get to people. He doesn't want to leave this to chance, so he's going to be trying to do it both ways.
Okay.
He'll need to get a place set up, so...
So...
I think he doesn't have a place set up at the moment, so he's... Nathaniel had suggested he could host it, but the problem is he can't really host it on the Lockley's domain. That would be a little bit off. So he's probably going to have to set something up in a neutral ground. So he's probably going to try and get something set up in one of the Elysiums.
Okay.
Likely the easiest thing would be Tobacco Factory, considering they do rooms and stuff like that. So he will try and make a quick arrangement to get something in place there as well.
Yeah, I think that is one of the most doable ones, because the other one is a nightclub, motion.
It's either that. Yeah, you could do motion. You could try and get something set up there. He'll see which one's more viable and then just plump with that, because it's just about the urgency of getting something in place. Okay. It needs to be something neutral, because there's obviously, it's
all
about
factions,
all factions. So Elysium it has to be.
Well, I think we start with your summoning the Cobweb, like people in the Cobweb role.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it's described in the Cobweb lore sheet, but I don't have it at hand.
I don't know if there's a particular skill and trait.
No, it's two attributes. I think it's composure and intelligence, please. It's just to see how well you can reach out.
I'd not be browsing for this.
Smart. Oh. Oh, that is 6 successes. Messy critical.
Nice.
Yeah.
You do reach out to the cobweb. You reach out to all of them. It's a critical win. So everyone is aware. Even Sophie Woods in her torpor. You know she gets the message. It used to be that it wouldn't fly. Your message wouldn't fly through that strand. But the effort takes a toll on Diarmuid. Your hunger goes up by 1 to hunger 5. As the beast despairs at your delayed reaction and response to address this. Luckily, you receive a call. Your agent. She said that you could do sort of like a supporting act. A very small things. They're a very small thing. There is a band that is going to be playing tonight. It's a new indie band. Their supporting act is not going to be able to be there in time. So if you show up as a surprise for the first 20 minutes, half hour, you'll be done fairly simply. The thing is, you need to move now because concert starts in 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I would imagine you sort of like shower to get the blood away, put new bandages on the arms and on your ribs, on your head, and then grab your helmet, put your gear, put your stuff, get in the car, and move.
Yep.
And once you're there, you arrive, like your car has been cleared. Your agent meets you there. But actually, they just wave past you, telling you where to park. And by the time you leave the car, you already have your helmet on. Well, sorry, your costume on, your mask and stuff. And you don't have really a chance to do much other than just go there and immediately hook yourself up hastily to the sound system that they have. No chance for a check. I'm gonna ask you to make a composure plus performance roll. Your DJing technology, your DJing specialty for perform can be used. Oh my god, this is going to be so much red dice.
Yeah.
Ooh. 3 successes. And a couple of bestial failures, but 3 successes is enough, so you don't get a bestial failure as well. That would be tough. But the beast sees this as part of the hunt. So you get your mind in the right place. Just for a second. Although the tunes are more feral in nature, more visceral, more instinctive, less melodic, more harmonic. Playing with those high pitches and low basses. And Diarmuid is, for a second, lost to it. Now, in another part in Portishead, Matilda wakes up in Audrey's house. Audrey is already up, and she's sat in the toilet, as in looking at, well, at a big bathtub that you can see has more ice in it.
Can I see Squid within the tub, or is he completely submerged?
He's completely submerged, but when you come, she says, I think it helped. I mean, he's not better, but his condition is pretty much the same as last night.
That's good. I think this was the turning point. I think he didn't want to say it last night, but I think it got worse.
I don't know, Matilda. Now I'm afraid of taking him out of her, or not putting more ice, or.
I think just keep. It's working so far. Just keep putting this much in. We're not in any rush to wake him up. I don't want to wake him up until he's. Definitely not now. So just take it a day at a time. You know.
When do you think you can talk to the Tremere?
Tonight or tomorrow, maybe. I mean, there's a lot going on, you know. But I'll do my best.
Thank you.
I know you and I were busy that night when the election night. But what do you know about it? About the Camarilla that got.
Well, actually, my brother has been called. And she's referring to her, sort of like her Banhogim brother, the other child of Faisal, Mike. My brother has been called. Just to stand on guard. There's a lot of bickering amongst the clans. Faisal summoned me, but I'm making excuses to delay him. I should be seeing him tomorrow, but I cannot get a hold of Ruby or Mitchell or Murray. Anyone that can come and take care of him.
Why can't they not pick up their phones?
Audrey, no, and Mitchell's and Murray's just go straight to voicemail.
Are they hurt?
I don't know. I haven't talked to them. I have left messages in Ruby's phone, and I have sent text messages and everything.
You know what? Why don't I go over to them and tell them to, be better friends, pick up their fucking phone?
I mean, they could have lost them, or I don't know.
Yeah, but if you need me to take over for a few hours, let me know. But I'll have a word with them and see if any of them can cover you for a few hours while you go see your kin.
Okay, just let's deal with Frankie first, and then if I know he's okay, then I can go and meet my clan.
Yeah. Your place is here for now.
Yeah.
Until they ask you otherwise. Are you okay here?
Yes, girl, I'll be fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'll give her a hug, and then I will leave and go to the HQ. So we have things to talk about.
Okay. Excellent. Nangisel, what does she do first thing in the evening? Janos has already left by the time you wake up. When you see Evelina, she mentions that he went to see the librarian. He was summoned.
Okay. Then I think that probably all of us need to talk. So I will probably head to the HQ and then wait for people there.
Okay. So right now, Janos is still in the middle of an interesting conversation. So let's go back to our hungry Diarmuid. There is a little bit of a meet and greet after the show. The performance is good. No one was expecting it. The supporting band goes in. You take your stuff and move out. Trying to be very careful and not making a mess of, well, the blood that might be around. The moment you go into a private room to take out your stuff, the bandages in your forehead are drenched. You have blood running down. Some of it might have stained your color. Luckily for you, the lighting in the place, and it's night, it helps to keep it covered, but you need to do a quick change of bandages. You need to change your shirt, put everything on a bag so you can dispose of it neatly afterwards. And then there is the meet and greet. Are you going to mingle in the meet and greet as one of the attendees, quote unquote, waiting for the DJ to show up and feeding in that way? Or are you going to show up as a DJ, as DJ O'Shea?
I think he's probably going to try and do a not as himself, so not as DJ O'Shea. He's going to go in there and try and hunt and get somebody, kind of peel them off of the pack, so to speak.
Okay.
And try and basically get engaged in conversation with somebody and then draw them away so that he can feed before he does, comes out as DJ O'Shea.
Okay. I'm gonna need a wits plus insight roll from you.
Yeah.
As your beast instinctively is looking for the weakest amongst the pack, someone who would be the most influential, person that you could influence the most, because English.
You're so good at it.
That is 3 successes. So in this small room with a meet and greet of not a lot of people, it's about a dozen or so, there's one person that is like a massive groupie, one guy that also seems to be on his own, quiet on a corner, waiting. Like, he immediately, like, every noise from any of the doors, he immediately turns and checks to see. Not because he's skittish, it's because as if he's expecting DJ O'Shea to just come in at any moment. And actually, he has a DJ O'Shea t-shirt.
In which case, we'll approach him and be trying to suggest that maybe I can get him a private meet, before he comes out with the customary,
Really? I mean, this is coincidence. I just had this t-shirt because, you never go to a concert wearing the shirt of the people you're going to watch, that is poor etiquette or whatever. Like, that is lame. That's what he says. It's lame. If you're going to see a band, don't wear their shirt. So I was wearing this one, and DJ O'Shea shows up. How awesome is that? So please,
it's the luck, isn't it?
Manipulation plus persuasion. And you can use your fast talk because you're trying to get this sorted fast.
Okay.
Ooh. Someone
I will willpower that one. Definitely.
Okay.
Is it 2? Yeah.
Yep. 2 successes is barely enough to get him out for a moment. As in, you would start getting him into the direction of the O'Shea's dressing room. Up until the point he go, like, you open the door and come in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's expecting you. Well, he's expecting DJ O'Shea to be inside, and there is the stuff. That's when Diarmuid turns around and says, "Come on in," and compels him very easily.
Yeah.
Now you will feed from him. I will need a humanity frenzy check from you. With your willpower, you get a bonus from your humanity.
So how many were looking here?
You hit humanity. You roll frenzy.
Yeah.
I believe you have only. Did you? Is this the first?
That's 3 willpower left.
Okay, so that is what you got, and then it'll ask you for your humanity because it will give you bonus dice for that.
Do I put in 7 and then it does it?
Yes, it does it for your
Okay. Okay.
And then you just. Wow, you lucky bastard. So your humanity, your frenzy check is just your 3 willpower plus 2 dice you get from your humanity. 5 dice. To get 4 successes and 5 dice. Really
it's
lucky.
It's the prayers, man. It's the prayers.
It's probably the prayers. There is 110 among those dice as well. Although the other 3 successes are 666, but shh. You need 3 successes to hold the beast in check while at hunger 5 when you taste blood. You succeed. How much blood are you drinking from this man? 1 will take you very little. 2 will be the scene and will leave him drowsy. 3 starts doing damage to him. He will be anemic. He will need to be taken out in a gurney or whatever.
I think we'll take us down to 3.
Okay.
So, yeah, two bits, two levels of feeding.
So only 2. You're drinking only 2.
Only 2.
Okay. The haze of the kiss helps dissipate everything else. He will be slightly groggy, but that gives you enough time to put on DJ O'Shea's paraphernalia.
Yep.
And then you turn to him, grab him by the arm, and you say, "Are you all right?" As if he had just met you and then half fainted. He, of course, apologizes profusely and says, "Oh, probably I'm overexcited." He takes a selfie with you. He asks you to sign him, an autograph.
We'll give him the full treatment, to say thanks, treat him like a star. And then, come out with him, talking to him as we go and do the meet and greet like he's a friend.
Wow. He's going to be over the moon, but very pale. You gather that he's going to be super happy, but then go straight home. He's in no shape to continue tonight in a gig. But that doesn't seem to bother him, nor you. The last vestiges of the stigma close. You no longer carry the heavy burden, the heavy and painful reminder of the death. A death that was for all of us, including this man. Because of his strength, this fan is safe. I imagine that after this you would have a short chat with your agent and then make your way to the HQ?
Absolutely.
Okay. You are the last to arrive, but not long after Janish, who would be arriving there after his negotiations and recording of the boon.
Carl, just one thing before Matilda arrives. Could she have, while she's driving, just have her phone on speakerphone and try and call Matilda and
Matilda? Ruby.
I'm sorry, that's me. Ruby and Mitchell and Co. And
okay, so Mitchell, straight to voicemail. Murray, disconnected. Ruby, rings. And then voicemail.
Right.
Do you leave a message?
Yes. I'll leave a message and I'll just say, "Right, Ruby, are you doing okay? I can't get a hold of you or Mitchell. I was a bit ropey the other night, so can you just let me know that you're alright?" Yeah, and then help.
Okay. So Nan yourself will have received a few messages from Ruby just asking basic questions, like saying, do you know when are we meeting? When can you
Sorry, does she mean when are she and I meeting?
or you and Mitchell, or like when is it happening? Like
When is it happening?
yeah,
Right,
she just needs, like, she's asking for sort of like an update of things, like how long will it take? Do I need to hide these
Okay.
people forever? Like, well, for a week or a day or?
So my plan is to get the people I'm getting out,
Mm-hmm.
put them in boxes, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and then ship them out. Yeah.
Oh, you have a fencer. You're going to use that person
But,
to. Okay.
but I'm obviously sending Mitchell elsewhere.
I mean,
So
your fencer will ship them
Yes.
wherever you want, and of
So
course,
I will give her an update which suggests that everybody's going to the same place, and that it's happening whenever it's happening, whenever it is I've organised for it to happen.
probably later, end of tonight, like at 4 or 5 in the morning.
So obviously, this is information I will also have provided to Diarmuid.
Okay.
Yeah, by some other means, whatever. Just a point of order, I think. I think that. Please tell me if I've misremembered this, but I think that I did tell Matilda that Ruby had been in contact with me. Did I?
I don't think you did.
No.
Maybe I just dreamed that.
No,
Never mind then.
you told Janish.
Okay, fine.
Because Ruby right now is with the children of summer.
Yes, which is fine, obviously. Where she's safe.
Where she belongs.
Okay, so
when you get hunger 5 and you don't follow the right goal, you end up bleeding everywhere.
True, Payring will pull that shot on you.
There's no way.
So Diarmuid will arrive to the HQ. At this point, it's around 11 p.m. So during this time, Matilda has been doing phone calls and trying to get us sorted out. Oh yeah, you said you wanted to talk to one of the Tremere?
Yeah, we were gonna talk to what's his
Oscar?
name?
Oscar.
Oscar. But then I imagine that can wait now because yeah.
Are there two Oscars? There's
Yes.
Oscar the Tremere
Yes.
and Oscar the Malkavian.
Yes.
Okay.
Oscar with a C, the Malkavian.
Mm-hmm.
Old occupant, like, and citizen of Bristol until killed by the outrageous attacks of the Anarchs. And then Oscar Cantor of Clan Tremere, refugee. But now there is only one Oscar alive, the Tremere one.
Ooh.
Well, I
So
imagine
he's probably playing guitar while I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm. So Diarmuid arrives.
Sorry to keep you waiting, all.
It's all right.
fine.
You doing all right?
Yeah, just had a quick gig, that was all.
Right.
No.
Well, I imagine there is much to discuss, given events of the last few nights.
Aye, just a tad.
Anyone to go first?
Sorry?
Anyone to go first?
Well, I would be curious to know what transpired with Abassi.
It was Abassi was Abassi. He was fucking slimy. Actually, we went in there, told him about Caleb. He said that Caleb's actually a caitiff.
What?
That Caleb's been a caitiff all along. So when I said to Abassi, "Oh, it's your child, it's your responsibility, it's your reputation," he just turned around and said, "Doesn't fucking matter to me," basically, because he's
But he's a Ventru,
Yes.
and he's got a caitiff child. Surely that matters to him.
And Caleb has been claiming to be a full Ventru for as long as I've been here.
Which he must have done under Obassi's thumb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Apparently it was more of an embarrassment for him to say that he was a caitiff than it was to just pretend that he was a full Ventru and just go along like that.
So does this mean that you were successful? If he would
Yeah,
not
so
want
you
such an
don't-
embarrassment
yeah.
to come to light.
He was successful in negotiating an agreement, but didn't sound like the agreement you wanted, Matilda.
What happened then?
So he offered a counter argument, because apparently people in our coterie have been poaching in Cameron.
Nonsense.
Well,
Stay very quiet.
okay.
Oh.
Well,
Oh
I'll
my
just say-
god.
Sorry, Alice. I didn't quite catch the last bit.
No,
you
no,
said.
no. That was it. That was it. That was just like not just like it's fine. I didn't think it was you.
Then I say, again, how does he know about that?
Well,
He's
there isn't
voluntary.
anything to know about. He must be bluffing.
Well, I certainly have been poaching on Camarilla territory.
Well, I haven't been doing it on purpose. It was an accident.
What?
It was an accident, and it was only one time. It was only 1 foot outside the boundary.
But Nanjazar, we walked that boundary together. We walked it together, and there was the map. You recall the map? And
Well, it was a difficult situation. I was hungry. And I had a number of other things I had to do. And the door was open, and it was just the other side of the road, that was all.
Whose territory was it that you were drinking in, Nanch?
Do I know the answer to this? Paul?
Yeah, Camarilla. Contested. It is a contested and our Camarilla territory. You were on the Camarilla side.
It was Camarilla.
Mm.
Well, he knows.
Taking
And
advantage of the
Buckley
can there
knows.
again, Nanch, I see.
Hey, I think in this life, opportunities don't come around too often.
And do I understand then, Matilda, you said you have reached a negotiation, so you have appeased Abassi on this matter.
No.
He is not going to raise it further or ask for recompense from Nanjazal directly.
What he's going to do is offer us a deal, which is that he won't pursue any kind of justice for this if we keep quiet about Caleb. About the fact that he's a case of Anna's involvement. So, unless we want to be in hot water with Abassi, it doesn't make any difference to me because I'm already in hot water, but I'm not really sure it's what we want right now. Is
It
it?
does place me in a somewhat difficult position.
Why?
Well, I have just met with the librarian, and he is keen.
Quiet? Is he woken up properly yet?
Yeah, oh yes, he is awake, no doubt. And a striking individual he is, not one soon forgets. He obviously wishes to deal with this matter of the society and also this rogue Tremere. And I have been telling him about this, but I have not yet mentioned Caleb's involvement, for I did not know what your negotiation, how that was to fare. However, it is clear to me that the librarian will want to know about Caleb, and if it was to become clear that we had not told him, specifically that I had not told him, it would not go down well.
I understand. I mean, I have to go back to Abassi with an answer, so I can say to him, look, the librarian's in charge, he's going to have to know.
Why don't you just tell him?
What? Sorry?
Why don't you just tell him you're not going to do the deal, and I will go to Prince Nathaniel and ask for his forgiveness or whatever it is I'm meant to do.
Well, that would be the correct protocol in this situation.
Right.
That is that is very kind of you, Nanj, but
I'm kind. I'm known to be kind, me.
Yeah, I know you are. You're not the only one who went on to camera.
What I'm saying, Matilda, is this
No.
isn't your problem.
It-
It's not your problem.
Sorry, you're cutting
Nudge,
there,
nudge.
Alice. Like you're
Sorry,
coming on and
sorry.
off of the audio, so
Oh,
it might
sorry.
be.
I'll
So
put
that's
my,
why.
That's
so
fine. I'll
it-
try and change it. Or
Yeah,
go
just
closer.
if you can put your output a little higher because you're coming on and off, so it might be
That's
your voice
Okay.
sensitivity.
Yeah. Is that any better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I'll just say to Nanj, you could do that, but you're not the only one who's been poaching, so that's not going to work.
What?
Was it me?
It wasn't Dermot.
I'm aware it is not Dermot. I assume you're saying, by the look on your face, that it was not Carl during his tenure here.
No, it wouldn't be Carl. He's got perfectly robust herd. What reason would he have?
Wand.
I was hungry, like you. Made a mistake, like you. And here we are. So you could go to Prince Nathaniel, but then I'd have to also go to Prince Nathaniel, and I'm not really...
No, maybe not.
Maybe you
Yeah.
should go to Prince Nathaniel. It is a grievous breach. And such things have to be... We had this very discussion with the leaders of the factions. If such things are not obeyed, the whole city will be in flames.
Have you never made a mistake, Janusz?
I think the answer to that is probably no.
I mean, I don't think you have, have you?
I have made mistakes, Matilda, but I have not stepped over someone else's boundary and fed there, if that is what you mean.
Well, I'm in no hurry to bow before Prince Nathaniel and ask for forgiveness when I don't think I need to. I'd
Cool.
rather do this in-house, take Abasi's deal, which is we keep our mouth shut, he keeps his mouth shut, and then it's going to come out about Caleb eventually anyway. When we catch him, people will know. So it's just a matter of...
Unless he
Keeping
disappears in the night just quietly, like...
I
Carlos,
don't...
Yes.
could I expend my minor boon to cover both these poaching offences?
No, it's
Okay.
a minor boon.
Fine.
You could leverage it, as in, you could use the minor boon to request an audience where you do what you were offering. Offer your apologies and of course any sort of recompense and all without it being recorded or known.
For both of us.
Yes, because the minor boon would be, can I have a private audience in which we will discuss matters that will be stayed private, and then come to that. But that is about it.
That's fine.
As far as extent goes.
Okay, so I'll say, I suggest that you let me go and speak to Prince Nathaniel on both of our behalves, and you reject Ubasi's deal. That's what I suggest.
What do you have? What can Prince Nathaniel offer?
I can get
Can
a
he
private
offer-
audience with Prince Nathaniel.
Yeah, but can he offer a part? Are you sure he can offer a pardon?
I can have a conversation with him about this where I apologise on behalf of both of us, do the right things, and I can make it so that conversation stays private. That is what I can do. Of course, I still want to snag it, but I reckon I've been doing the camera a number of favours lately, so I reckon it's doable.
If things become difficult, there may be a service I could offer to the prince or those he favours.
Just saying, you don't want to be any more up to your neck with Obasi, do you?
No, I don't.
And also, if turn him down, it'll do his nut in, right? It's been ages trying to figure out how you did it. And that
We
will
need
just be
we need to sort this out before I say no to Abasi, though. You need to have that audience with Nathaniel before that happens.
I can ask for it tonight.
If that is the way it goes, then I will be able to speak to the librarian about Caleb, and that will enable him to more easily find him and Annie in his investigations, which seems to all of our benefits.
Right.
Are we
What do
done
you
on
think
that then?
Does that fit with you as well, Diarmuid? That outcome?
I'm pretty fine with it all as long as you're making, amends to the cam and all for what you've been doing.
Well, you know I love the cam, don't you, Diarmuid? So
You've been showing some respect recent, yeah.
And by doing this, you will also, in a sense, be supporting the work of the library and keeping order and proper business as it should be.
well, I will go and make a phone call now and see if I can't get a private audience for later tonight. Obviously, I can't make no guarantees. Doing.
Before you do this, though, are there any other matters of business that
I
we
was
as a country...
just going to put the call in and come back.
Oh, I see. Where are you going to put this call?
On my phone. I'm just going to go step in the other room and phone him.
So be it.
It's a quick thing. The reply you get later, you make the call and ask for that. You will get a call back, which will happen. Basically, he tells you to meet him after. You were in yesterday's conversation when he asked Diarmuid, so you know that this conversation with all Malkavians is happening. So you can have your private audience after that happens. So the meeting is going to happen at around 2 a.m.
Okay. So I'll make sure I get time to get there.
So you will have to be afterwards. You can go with Diarmuid or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's sort
of. I'll say, do you have other stuff you wanted to chat through?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But first, I'm aware that much has happened to us all recently. Are all of you well? And he'll look at each one of you in a slightly creepy manner.
I'll say, what do you mean? What do you mean, well?
I mean, there have been attacks on the city, and
I'm physically well, if that's what you mean.
There has been shifts in the political structure. There have been kindred murdered.
Yes, it's all pretty banjaxed, isn't it? And I'm pretty pissed off.
I can't say I'm too pissed off. And physical.
I was going to share. I don't know if you're aware of the people what is being killed by the Anarchs in recent nights.
I know.
I am not aware.
Well, then I would like to share with you their names, so you can know who they are. There's a Oscar Aldworth of my own clan, and 2 of Clan Toreador, Michaela Drayton, and Matthew Faraday. As far as I know, they was all decent individuals, law-abiding, respectful members of the cam, and they just got jumped, which seems a bit out of sorts. So,
Oscar Aldworth will resonate with the 3 of you because he was there present when the Bristol multi-faction coterie was formed, and he was the Camarilla representative.
Okay.
So, I'd like to ask, if anybody knows anything about this. I would greatly appreciate, knowing a little bit more. Because it needs to be dealt with proper, and I'm not seeking to take, petty vengeance around the place here. That's not how things should be done. I don't want to go against the library's rules and all, but something needs to be done about this, so if you know...
Well, the library stuff is to do with the Inquisition, isn't it?
No, I meant more in general, the accords between the factions. You can't just go around blood for blood and the likes, because I know where that leads.
It's not a reflection on all of the Annex, though. It was a difficult
Is it not?
Night. It was a difficult night for everyone.
It is a reflection on the fact that your people are out of control, or were at that point.
But just as Nandazel is going to make some recompense in order to deal with this poaching and set things right. Surely there is something the Anarchs can do to set things right. They cannot replace those who have been destroyed, but they can at least recognize the severity of the crime and give something.
It is happening. Roger's looking into it. I'm looking into it. He's asked me to find out who did it and to make sure they come to justice. So Diarmuid, I don't want any thought that we're not taking it seriously, because we are. We don't want...
Is it Anarch justice? Because it seems to me that if what they did was against the Camarilla, it ought to be Camarilla justice they're subject to, because that's the wrong party, isn't it?
Well, that's up to Roger.
Is it,
I
though?
don't want to take them to Roger and then he'll decide.
Maybe it's up to the prince. Saying.
Well, that's a conversation between those two. I've been asked to get them for Roger, so...
So you've been asked to look into the matter?
I am looking into it.
Well, I'd be mighty interested to know who might have done in my clanmates, if you do happen to find out at any point.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll know.
I could certainly put out the feelers, see what I can find out.
If you could, that would be nice. And if you could as well, Diarmuid, if you know anyone who saw it happen.
If anything comes to me, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you. Because we are taking it seriously. I don't want any thoughts that we're not. It's not chaotic there. It's not... The Alex do have a sense of right and wrong.
Well, I'm sure the proof will be in what happens after tonight and on.
It will?
Yes, the actions will prove the truth. What of you, Matilda? You have had this election you prepared for shattered and other things amongst your faction. How are you? How are you faring?
Tired. I'm tired and I'm fucking sick of... Feels like a lot of things are going wrong all at once. I'm just a bit exhausted by it, to be honest. But the sooner we get Annie, the sooner we get Caleb, and the sooner we get the ones who have their eye on your haven, then...
Amen to that.
Regarding your difficulties, whatever they are, these things that are happening at once, are there any ways that we might assist you?
You're doing a good job with what you're doing now. Just keep doing you. I mean... No, I mean just...
You mean what, Matilda? Say it. You have nothing to fear here.
I know I don't have anything to fear. I think it's a lot to prepare for one thing for several years and then to know that I had it. Because I was the representative, I got elected, and it doesn't matter anymore. So I'm smartened from that, and I will be for a while.
Everybody knows you got it, though.
Yeah, but I don't have it. I don't have anything to show for it at the moment.
So what I'm saying at the moment is you won it, but now you don't even have to do the responsible things related to having won it. I mean, you could look at it that way, couldn't you?
Besides, it's in your interest, isn't it? Because, like I said to you, didn't I tell you, theory, you make it to being your representative, all of a sudden, Bassi's hold over you gets greater, right? Now you ain't the representative, you don't get what he wants. That is in your favour.
That is
and
a
it's
good point.
you can leverage.
And to be honest, the whole fucking thing about the poaching is just... I don't know what he'd do, to be honest. If I turn around like I'm going to do and I'm going to say I'm not going to take your deal, he's not going to try and get me final death, because it's more important to him to have me there, to have me powerful. So, I mean, in a way, I'm thinking that whole thing is an empty threat anyway.
Strikes me, he'll probably have some up, because he's a venture after all. You have some backup plan or some counter argument to it, but you're right, he ain't going to be expecting you to turn him down. Because if there was one thing the venture don't expect is people saying no to him, because generally people don't. So,
well, I better get used to it.
Well, when you do, then you can try and figure out what his counterplay is. There's no doubt you'd do it.
Well, assuming the whole world doesn't burn like Janusz was suggesting, then we've all got time, you know. There'll come another time for you, and there'll be more opportunities and more things you can do to try and get them off your back. But
Yeah.
just a bit of patience and all.
Yeah. It's a long life. It's a long time. Sure, there'll be another opportunity.
Agreed, the world will not burn if we can hold in these difficult times to the agreements between us all.
Yeah.
Now, there is something I wish to discuss, and it is true that these have been difficult times and will be coming up more difficult times. The librarian has already begun to make plans for how he might move to deal with the Society of Leopold. Of course, he also intends to deal with Annie, should he find her. Now, much as Teach and the others have talked about misdirecting the Society and leading them astray, using the Masquerade to blind them to our presence, it is too late for that. Annie has informed them of our presence. They have already struck against the Anarchs. They know we are existent within Bristol. I do not know what the librarian will eventually try to do, but it is clear to me that this will not be a simple matter of lying low until they disappear. Not until we have removed that threat. There is also a more personal and spiritual matter that I wish to ask your assistance and confidence with. Nanjazal is already aware of this to some degree, but I also wish to bring the two of you in. And I understand that in doing so, this may cause other conflicts for you, and you may have a price for such help. But this is of significance enough to me that I'm willing to negotiate on whatever it is you need. You are aware, some of you, that my home has inhabitants, ghostly inhabitants, those who are no longer among the living. And those people were my family, my adopted family, when I was alive. They raised me. It was the Society of Leopold that murdered all of them. And that their spirits are still unhappy. And whilst I do what I can to appease them, they nevertheless remain tortured for the manner in which they were killed. The man who was present at that time, but was also present at the more recent attack on my haven, is Father Michael. Now, those spirits and I have waited long enough. It is my fear that the librarian and those others will not like any kind of move against him. But he must be brought to justice. He must be brought discreetly and in such a fashion that it is not observed or known about to my home, such that he can face those that he has wronged and meet justice. Now, it must be said that he is the contact for the Society of Leopold in Bristol. He has some seniority. I do not know his exact position.
So you'll be missed.
But he will be missed if he is taken. And such an act would likely then cause some reaction from the society. And so there must be thought about how and when, and what is done about those other members of the society that are currently active, those who set the fires upon the anarchs. What is done about them? As you can see, this is a complicated thing that must be done carefully, and that is why I am asking for your help. I know, Dermot, that you have surveillance upon the church where he presides. And I know that, Matilda, you are skilled in managing delicate things when it comes to it. I also know, Matilda, that you have stood when the time came with Nangizel and I and Carl and fought that Inquisition, that society, when they came. So, that is what I am asking. Is it something you are willing to give, three of you?
I do have a question. When Father Michael's in your custody, I mean, what do you want from him? Do you want an apology? Are you asking for... You can ask, get revenge? What is it you want?
It is not I who will be asking something from him. It will be those who have been wronged even more than I have.
What do you expect them to ask?
I expect they will demand a heavy price. And I expect that when it is done, then they will finally be able to rest, whatever that price is.
I love you. Of course I will.
Thank you.
You're proposing taking a person who may have done wrong and feeding him to your hungry pets on your domain.
I didn't know what he said. He didn't say anything
To
about
feed the spirits of vengeance. You see, that way only lies an endless cycle. Perhaps that's what you're looking for, to keep them, rather than put them to the rest. How do we know you're not just going to keep them hungry for more?
Do you think I intend to use the spirits of my family as pets? Is that what you are laying at my feet?
I'm just using roughly the terms what was said to me when I arrived at your domain that time. And I don't mean to lay any slander, it's questionable, Janusz, some of what's there.
Well, I have pets on my domain. I have many pets, many dogs, but I'm not speaking of them here.
No, I know you're not. Nor am I.
This man sent his killers a second time to my home. This man will be sending more killers to the city to kill not just those of my people, should they find them, but also yours.
But I don't agree, because I don't believe that's what Cassiel was suggesting would happen. That essentially more death is only going to bring more death. After all, was it not the ones what came to your domain and the fact that they was killed led to more turning up? Is that not the cycle that we're talking about?
They came because Annie led them there. She's feeding them information, but now...
And let us hunt Annie and put that to an end. And if that ends, then perhaps the library can do their job and see the Inquisition off somewhere else.
That won't help his family, though, will it?
No.
His family are stuck here in this world until they can be freed. And that is only happening when they get justice for the crimes that was committed against them.
You're certain?
Yeah, Annie might stop the Inquisition, but it don't help Janish's family.
Besides, the Society now know about us in Bristol, that there are kindred in Bristol. That is why they attacked the Anarchs. And they will know they did not get them all. They are not leaving. It's going to be very difficult indeed to persuade them to go.
It'll just be attritional from here on in, won't it?
I do think Janusz has a point. I think that the jig's up in some sense. They know where we are. They have a robust enough informational sort of conveying that I'm sure others will know where you are.
That's not the question that's being asked here. You're asking me to put a price on a human life.
Not a human life. We're not saying he's going to be taken there and murdered. That's not what he said. What he said was he was going to be taken there to face the people whose death he caused.
Then
Outcome of that is on the spirits.
Then
isn't
you
it?
can
It's
assure
not-
me that he'll come out the other end, back out of the domain, and off to somewhere else. I mean, I can help get rid of some of what he knows. I can help put some of that away. I can help clean up and maybe set him on a new life elsewhere. But, can you guarantee that's what's going to happen, Janusz?
I will make no such guarantees.
Yeah.
Can you can change his memory. Can you change the spirit's memory? Can you give them back their lives? Can you give them back what they lost? Is his action acceptable simply because he still breathes?
Or maybe the absolution will come in forgiving him.
I did not hear you, sorry.
Maybe their absolution and their peace will come in forgiving him for what he's done. Maybe you can help them to find it in their hearts to put it aside and go on to a better life elsewhere. If they're your family.
There are many faiths, as you know, and some are based around the concept of forgiveness. But not all faiths are.
Derek was right about that with my dad, though. I mean, he told me about that, and when we went to see my dad, he was gone on.
You asked my opinion, Janusz, and you asked what it would be, and I'm giving you a fair answer.
Yes.
That's all I ever give.
You did. It is true. I did ask the question and you gave an answer. Forgive me.
And there's no point us all beating a dead horse around on this, Till the time comes, then perhaps we can discuss it more, but otherwise we're just going to get ourselves all in a lather.
In the matter of the deceased, I could certainly promise that I would not seek to anger them or raise their ire. Indeed, I might try and make them as calm and as at peace as they can be, but I cannot and will not try and force their hand. If such a choice is to be made, it must be their choice.
Well, that seems fair to me.
It is up to you if you wish to assist me in this. All I would ask is that you not stand in front of me when the time comes.
I can't say what's going to happen and where fate's going to put us, Janusz, but let's hope it doesn't put us opposed on these things, shall we? Let's see. It sounds like you're not going to give me a firm agreement that it'll go a particular way, and I can't do the same thing either, so how about we just leave it aside for the moment?
For the moment, but I think we had best be in agreement of one kind or another before action is taken. Lest we get into a lather, as you say.
Right.
Well, thank you, Matilda.
You're welcome. I saw what they did to you, to us, and for what it's worth, I think you deserve a little bit of vengeance.
Yeah.
I'd want it. if I were you.
I imagine. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say, I think I've got some work to do in respect of this Harry Jacobs. And I've got a meeting with the prince. So I best sling my hook.
So
Sorry, could I take Nand aside
yes.
Yeah.
afterwards and just say, no hard feelings about the poaching. I mean,
We're an accident. We didn't mean it. I
Yeah.
imagine it's like for you. I know what it's like.
last thing I want to do is poach in their territory. And
Like, leave it with me. I'll see what I can do.
my thing is, I actually have something to ask the prince. I wonder whether you'd be able to give a call and ask
Depends
him
what
to
it
come
is.
as well. It's to do with the Camarilla that were killed the other night. I have something to ask him.
What do you want? What do you want me to ask him?
There is a kindred called Ragnar.
You know him. He is the most obnoxiously despicable kindred in the whole of city, than yourself. You hate his guts.
I will say. I know him.
It's a fucking
Twat.
Yeah. I'd like to know what the prince thinks of him, and 'cause I think he's involved in what happened the other night, but he seems to think he's
What, you think he's involved in the Camarilla what got killed?
But he seems to
He
think
killed some of them.
he was
Is he
both,
one of yours?
he was boasting as well. I don't know what he was saying some stuff, and I'd like to know. And he seemed very confident that there'd be no repercussions.
Because he
What
reckons
was
he's
that?
mates with the prince.
Well, I think he has something on the prince. I think the prince sees him in a way that makes him feel invulnerable, and I want to know what that is.
I mean, I can ask. I can't say as definitely tell me, but I can tell you what his reaction is for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Would you though consider telling Diarmuid about this Ragnar bloke and what he said?
I'm not sure that's a good idea at the moment. He seems pretty riled up.
I think he is rolled up, but I also know he's not a murderer. That is a
Do
fact.
you know that? Do you know
Yeah, I knew that. He's talked me out of murdering more than one person.
Right. Like within the last week, are we talking?
Yeah.
Is it recent?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be a bit weird and all, but
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I like him. I really do. I wouldn't have brought him into the meeting with Abassi if I didn't like him. I
He's
just
a
know
solid
what it's
bloke.
like when you feel wronged and you feel like, I mean, I've been asked to do something, he's been asked to do something, and to be honest, I'd rather be taking the perpetrators into Roger than him taking directly to Nathaniel, you know what I mean?
I mean, I sort of know what you mean, but I would say out of Roger and Nathaniel, I reckon they got a better shot with Nathaniel because he operates on a set of rules that weren't laid down by him. Roger operates on his own set of rules, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything against your leader, but he is old, and the older you get, the less you tend to think about things like, peaceful solutions.
Yeah, he's an old guy, and I don't know what he's actually going to do when he finds out
you
he's
might
done
just
it,
kill
to
him.
be honest. I mean, yeah, he seemed pretty incisive about it when he woke up. I'll tell Dermot, maybe not tonight. I need to figure out who else did it, to be honest. I know
I'll
one
ask you a
might-
question. But you've got to bear in mind, if I ask you a question, Nathaniel might tell Dermot anyway. So then you might want to have got there first. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'll think about it. Thank you. Thanks, Nanj.
No worries. I'll be off then.
All right, good luck.
Charm. I'll
And-
go. Having stirred the pot some more.
And with a meeting of the Malkavian ahead, occurring at the tobacco factory later tonight, Diarmuid makes his way there, probably Nigel in tow. For the Malkavians will have a word, and then Nigel will talk to the prince.
Just out of interest,
Yes.
when is the exchange with the boxes occurring?
Like 3 or 4 hours after that. So,
Okay.
like,
Good.
it is expected that the Malkavian reunion is not going to be a long one.
Fine.
And then there's going to be a short chat between Nigel and the prince, and then probably she's going to go and sort the boxes out an hour or two after that. So, meeting with the Malkavians is at 2. Exchanges of the boxes and stuff is like 5:30.
Okay.
Before 5:36 before dawn. But all of that will be sorted next week on the mid-season finale of season 3 of Blood on the Severn. We are
Do you
coming.
want to remorse check me?
Sorry?
Do you want to remorse check me?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Like first things first. We need to do a remorse check. So your humanity is not looking great. You only
it's rubbish.
roll 1 die. So let's see how Nigel feels about this. Ooh. No remorse.
That is because I made the correct decision.
Yeah. Your word is your bond.
Is it?
Only one issue.
But you gave your word to the children of summer. You gave them your word. You gave them your soul. You have received in return epiphanies and a better understanding and a purpose. And in your own mind, you justify it. That some words are more worth the bond than others. Therefore, Nigel's humanity drops to 5, which has a couple of interesting accompanying side effects, such as, of course, the natural detachment of a lower humanity. But now your bonus dice, the bonus dice that you receive from humanity to resist frenzy, you gain 1 for every 3 full points of humanity. With humanity 6, you were getting 2 extra dice to resist frenzy. Now you're only getting the 1.
So I've just eat often enough, don't I?
You just get to frenzy more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, now you gain a -1 die penalty to your interactions with mortals, for they sense
And I'm
the
weird.
unnaturalness of your
Although, if you're trying to scare them, it doesn't apply.
yes,
'Cause you're
it's everything except intimidation, so not all lost.
I mean, presumably this does include all the people in the cult.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It actually does.
Yeah.
So if I creepily want to hang around in Zane's room, yeah.
It means he's more likely to run away than he was
Yeah,
before.
well, this means I've got a
That's
whole-
probably a good instinct, really.
But for all of this and more, join us next Monday at 7 p.m. UK time, where we will finish the first half of Season 3 of Blood on the Severn. Thank you very much to my players for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Carl.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you to our wonderful ghouls and patrons and Twitch supporters and everybody who has made this possible. So I hope you enjoy the lore sheet, the library lore sheet, and Hubert's postcard. And thank you to our viewers and listeners for keeping up with our crazy shenanigans. Now, until next Monday, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. And that was a really weird misclick of my part. So we are going to wave goodbye, and I'm going to do a proper transition to the end. Until then, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.